If you know one thing about me, it's that I love combining books and art, whether that's making my own custom special editions or painting my nails to match the covers of my favourite reads. And if you know a second thing about me, is that I am ride or die for Miss Ali Hazelwood. So I'm going to show you how I did my nails to match the cover of The Love Hypothesis. This is what my copy of The Love Hypothesis looks like. I love the teal and the pink. The only thing I'm not sure about is which shade of pink I'm going to use, because there's the light one, the kind of medium one, and then the darker one here. This shade is definitely my favourite, but it's quite small, so I don't know if like at a distance you'd be able to tell. So we might do the baby pink, and then I'll probably use like a nude base to match the skin tones and put some white in, so we're kind of grabbing a little bit from all the colours. These are all my swatches, and then I go through them all and try and find colour matches. I'm pretty sure I don't have one. I don't even think I have one for the shade of pink I want to do. This one goes quite well with that baby pink cover, but I really like this shade. I think we might be mixing our own colours. Okay, this is my nude shade. Black and white, some blues, some green to help make the blue a bit more teal, and some pinks. We're also going to need a matte top coat and a glossy top coat, a UV lamp, nail stands, nail file, electric nail file, tips, palette, blue tack equivalent, teeny tiny paintbrush, some pads, gel white, cuticle trimmers, and nail glue. I think that's it, but if I forgot something, we'll find it. The first thing you do is find your nail sizes. I have quite small nail beds. An 11 is the smallest you can get, and I'm an 11, 9, 8, 7, 3. I'm somewhere in between a 3 and a 2 on my thumb. Also, ignore this. I whacked my finger and she's in recovery. She's fine. Should I zoom you in a bit? Are we a bit far away? Okay, I think that's better. You can actually see what I'm doing now. Then, before I put the nails on the nail stands, I don't know if you can see that little like bobbly bit at the top. I just use a nail file to get it off. Now I take a tiny square of this and use it to adhere the nails to the nail stand. Ta-da! Then what we need to do is get that shiny layer off. What a lot of people do is use a nail file to just buff it off, but I prefer using a matte top coat. It does the same thing and it just takes less time in my opinion. Before I put that on though, I'll use this brush bit for my electric nail file just to make sure there's no dust on it so we don't have bumps. I do not know what has happened to my matte top coat, but I think I need a new one. Then we're gonna pop them in the UV machine to cook. Whilst that cooks, I think I'm gonna try and make my blue shade. I'm gonna just wipe this down first. These are the base blues. As you can see, none of them are even close to the right shade. So I'm gonna try mixing maybe these three first and see how that comes out. Okay, that's way too light. Let's add a little bit of this blue, and it's still way too blue. So I'm actually just gonna add a dot of green. I feel like that's pretty close. That'll do. This is what they look like with the matte top coat on. Now we're going to use that nude shade all over, I think 4 of them. I literally just said I'm only doing it on 4 of them, and I still painted all 5. But before I cure, I held the nails upside down for like 20 seconds because it helps the gel self-level and it creates a natural apex in the nails. Now we'll put those in to cook. I'm gonna do a really thin second coat just to make sure we've got full coverage. Now we're gonna mix up our pink. Oh, okay. Well, this is empty. Not that one then. That was the one that was like the perfect colour match for the text. So that's fate telling me we're going to do the more salmony colour. I have so many shades of pink and they are all nearly gone because I use it so often. Well, this is pretty close actually to the one we want. It just needs to be a little bit redder, maybe whiter. Okay, this is the darkest pink, which could be cute. And I think these 2 tones go really well together. So that might be the motive. I also think it will stand out nicer against the nude because if I go too kind of peachy, it could be quite hard to see. I'm going to take the gel wipe and one of the little pads and just wipe the tacky layer off of the nude. And then because it's shiny again, we're going to do another layer of matte top coat so that the next colour we put on sticks to it. Now, you may be wondering why this guy has been left out all alone. It's because I want to do a marble nail. So you just need any kind of clear gel. I'm going to use my top coat just so that I'm not like using loads of products, but you can use a base coat, basically anything that's clear. And then I'm not going to cure it, I'm going to leave it wet. Then we get our colour palette. I'm going to add a bit of the white and nude onto it. Then whilst this is still wet, I'm just going to dip my brush in the colours and drag it through, and it basically self marbles. There's no like rhyme or reason to the patterns I do either. I just kind of go with it. I'm gonna do like majority nude and white just to give it some sort of like base, and then add the little pops of pink and blue, and then when I like how it looks, I just pop it into Cure. I don't know if I'm going to put this at the end or like interject it somewhere in the middle, but whilst I was doing my nails, a first look at the Love Hypothesis movie has dropped. Oh my god, that's the cover. That's the cover kiss. I'm gagged. Also, can we talk about how perfect the casting for this film is? Like, it actually could not be better. Okay, we have Olive in her lab with a little mouse. Oh my god, the way he's looking at her. Shut the fuck up. The way they're looking at each other. I can't cope. Okay, this has got to be Jeremy, Arn and Malcolm. Love that even the detail of the brain on the shirt. This is... ugh. I love them so much, I can't wait for this film. Now we're going to do a blue French tip and a pink French tip on these two. Always make sure to get the gel right the way to the very edge, and the same on the top. You want to make sure that you've actually got it everywhere. I know it looks like I'm shaking, but I'm actually doing like small push movements like this to kind of manipulate the gel up and into a straight line rather than putting like a new layer on, if that makes sense. I'm just moving the gel that's already on the nail. This is the problem with being a perfectionist, is I could just play with it forever, but eventually you need to stop. Now is not that time. That'll do. I'm literally still adjusting it off camera. Upside down and into Cure. Now on our last two nails, I think I'm gonna do the little beakers, is that what you call them? Paint some of these on there. I love this brush, it's so small. Whilst I paint these nails, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the book. So our main character is Olive. She is an anti-love third year PhD student who tries to convince her best friend Arn that she is in fact dating somebody by panic kissing the first man she sees. And one thing about Ali Hazelwood is she is going to write a broody love interest. So of course that man is a grumpy, terrifying, hot professor with the emotional availability of a brick wall. Also, he's not her professor and he's not old. I don't know what sort of narcotics she puts into her books, but Ali Hazelwood's writing is so addictive, and she's a neuroscientist, so apparently just the coolest person on the planet. She writes women in STEM so well. Her main characters are brilliant and chaotic and romantic all at once, and I eat it up every time. Anyway, back to Olive and Adam. So of course they start fake dating, and suddenly she's sharing fun drinks, lab spaces, even hotel rooms with this grumpy man who's actually not that grumpy when it comes to her. Ta-da! Now I'm gonna wipe off the sticky layer and do a matte top coat just to level it all out. Now I'll take them off the nail stands and then just use a nail file to make sure I like the shape. Then I use that same drill bit from earlier to get the dust off. And we'll finish with a glossy top coat. Ta-da! In my head, the marble one is like, if you zoomed in on the mixture, this is what it would look like. This is a crazy waste of product. I wish I had like my own bowls I could put stuff into when I make a custom colour. Alas, I do not. Next up is cuticle prep. I'm not going to show you how I do this, but I will talk you through what I do. Just because I'm not a professional, I have no qualifications. The only reason I feel comfortable doing this is because I'm doing it on myself and I can literally feel what I'm doing. I'm going to use a normal nail polish remover to get off the layer I have. It's like a protection thing. Then I'm going to use this drill bit to push my cuticles back, the cuticle cutters to cut off any excess, and then I use a combination of a gentle nail file and this drill bit to buff off the shiny layer that's left on my nails. Now my cuticles are all prepped. I would really recommend watching an actual professional tutorial on putting your cuticles back, because press-ons aren't going to stay on for very long if you don't. Now this is where we go wash your hands, go to the toilet, do whatever you want, because you're not going to want to get your hands wet for at least an hour after you put these on, and you're not going to want to soak them for at least 24 hours, so no bathing or swimming. I'm going to use a dehydrator just to make sure there's no excess oils on my nails. Now we're going to take our nails off the nail stand and use this drill bit again to get off any remaining glue tack on the back and to like buff it a little bit to create a rough surface, because the glue needs texture to adhere. So if we rough up the back of our nail and we rough up the back of the fake nail, they'll just adhere way better. Now to get them on our fingers we need a stronghold nail glue. Then what we're going to do is put a really thin coat on my nail and a really thin coat on the back of this nail, and then apply at a 45-degree angle like this and then flat, so that we don't push the glue out of our cuticle. So we want to start here and then push back. Just adjust it to make sure I'm happy with that angle before I hold it down as well. And then you just hold it until, I don't know, until you feel like it's stuck on, probably like 30 seconds. Then I'm going to finish with some cuticle oil. And that is it. What do we think? I love the teal and the pink colour scheme so much, and I think the nude and the pops of white really make it. I hope that was helpful, or at least mildly entertaining if you have no interest in doing your own nails. Let me know what you think, or if you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you're not already, please subscribe and like the video too. This is my, I think, 3rd video, so super, super new, and it makes such a difference.